This week in comic books, we get Brave and the Bold, and we get introduced to Fake It or Make It Batman. It was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. In Marvel, we get the 50th anniversary of Howard the Duck, and man, they could not have messed that up any worse than they did. That was so bad. And in Independence, we get yet another Berserker book, because why not? It's Keanu Reeves, and like everybody loves him. That and a few other books. Short pickings this week. But first, I got to try to sell you some coffee. You should check this coffee out. Buy this coffee. Please buy this coffee. Thank you. Hey, what's going on, folks? This is your boy Pocan Joe to talk to you about Coffee Brand Coffee. We serve people that are tired of gimmicky advertising and branded companies that want to lecture you. At Coffee Brand Coffee, all we want to do is serve you freshly roasted coffee wherever you're at, whenever you want it. Consider Coffee Brand Coffee. Check us out, check our reviews out, and use promo code POCANJOE or the link down in the description to save yourself some money. Give me the opportunity to get you a delicious cup of coffee. Alright, you wonderful weirdos. Welcome back to a new comic book day where we grab a bunch of comic books, read them, regurgitate them to you. Hopefully a little early before you go buy yours so you kind of make informed decisions. I should say that I need to apologize if you don't get any of my usual animations in this one and cool transitions. It's because my computer is currently being upgraded and I'm on a backup computer right now. So if it doesn't happen, I apologize. I try to be as consistent as I can. But I definitely don't want to miss New Comic Book Day with you. So let's just jump right into it. Batman, Brave and the Bold. So in here you get about 4 stories, right? That's been kind of the motif with the whole Brave and the Bold thing. I went with this one because it kind of depicts something that happens in the story where we get kind of like a maybe kind of sort of Batman, right? Frank Freeman. He's been in a couple of issues now, and this is kind of the conclusion of the, hey man, you're not Batman. You need to go home to your daughter and get help for your PTSD. He was a soldier, had some issues, right? Instead of working through them, decided to be Batman. Okay, plus he's got a daughter, right? So yeah, he should not be Batman, right? Even we've had superheroes, right? Delusional superheroes going out there and doing things, right? But this is kind of a different story, right? Like this is like the dangerous one. But he did give Batman a run for his money, so will we get more of this character later? I would probably, if you bought the first couple of issues, you might want to hold on to it. Not that it would ever be in the movies or anything, but I think it would be something that people would want to know more about. Like this random guy, soldier, hacker, karate judo expert. Not so regular, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know. It just seemed kind of cool to me. I enjoyed this story, and even he even picked up a sidekick at one point. It was kind of weird. But moving on, right? In this one, you also get a horrible Aquaman story, and I say horrible Aquaman story because I'm not an Aquaman fan. You should know that up front. But in this one, an octopus tells him there's a strange noise. It wasn't an octopus. It was an anglerfish. You know, the thing with the little, yeah. So, it tells him that there's some bad stuff going on in the trenches of the deep. So he goes down there to check it out, and of course, Gorilla, or I don't want to say Gorilla Grodd, whatever the good guy Gorilla Grodd was, but it's the giant talking intelligent gorilla fans, right? They run into the mentors down there, right? And the mentors, and they're up to their evil schemes, right? Bad guy aliens want to take over the world. Not my thing. Not my thing at all. Other 2 stories in it. We get War Dogs back, right? And we're kind of making him like almost like Peacemaker, like we've been doing Peacemaker lately, but we've kind of maybe not as hard, right? Coming in your face is hard. Local guy, wants to be a hero. He does get in trouble for using the trademark of the local team there, so he has to change that up. That was funny. That was actually pretty good, right? But for the most part, it's exactly what you would expect. Just an introduction issue. He's fighting bad guys, but the bad guy there, this is a Midwest type of thing. And, the bad guy's an actual supervillain is setting up shop there instead of just like a local gang member. So something a little out of his league. What will he do to combat it? Who knows? I'll probably not pick up the next Brave and the Bold, to be honest with you. I'm not interested in the Aquaman story. And honestly, the fourth story is forgettable to me, so I'm probably just going to be moving on from that. I got it because somebody was like, you need to read it. And they were wrong. Very wrong. All right, moving on. Detective Comics. This is issue 1078. All right, so here we have kind of like justice happening, right? Kind of like outlaw justice, if you will. So Batman's been considered a criminal. They're going to go ahead and hang him, right? But one of his little pseudo personalities is kind of slowly taken over, which we saw in the last issue. In this one, he hasn't really done anything because they were focusing about everybody else in this situation. Catwoman, the Bat Family, trying to go in and save them, and kind of just failing. It's just failing. Azrael's in it, who I like. I like that character. It's kind of like a medieval knight Batman, right hand of God type of thing. So again, kind of didn't really move the story forward a little bit. Just kind of kept it stagnant in here. Of course, Batman doesn't get hanged, or actually does. Well, I'll let you decide. There's your spoiler panel right there. Feet a swinging. Somebody will throw a batarang, I'm sure. The other story in here, this kind of alternative Catwoman sidekick type lady, love story, and it's very basic, and it's not very deep at all. Very low dialogue. I'm not really sure who it's written for, but it definitely wasn't me. So, it was alright. Alright, let's move on to Marvel. That's all the DC I got. That was it. I didn't see anything else I wanted. Howard the Duck. Number 1. I am getting the Scotty Young variant. It's just, he had it, just didn't give it to me, so I gotta go back and get it, which we will do for my old wife there. So this is dumb. It's dumb, right? It's a parody of What If, the What If series, where what if you take the characters and put them in this weird one? Well, the thing here is the What If is storylines that you may or may not recognize from Marvel over the last few years, and we're just going to stick Howard the Duck in it and just kind of make everything silly. Now, I know, look at me, I know Howard the Duck's a silly character. I understand that. And yes, he should be in a silly story or something along those lines. But when it came to Howard the Duck, who's not a very well-known, right, character out there, like he's not, his comic books are not flying off the shelves. I thought this would have been a great opportunity with the new comic book communities out here and the people talking and everything. If they did more like, how every sitcom had the flashback episode, like they would always like highlight the year and quick flashbacks. If they did something like that, like where he just mentioned like major points of his life and kind of gave that up instead of, doing another facsimile out there or something like that. I thought that would have been kind of interesting. Or God forbid they just give him a new storyline where you can take off with it, right? And again, I know, it's a silly character. It should be comical. Sticking him in parodies just makes sense. But that's the problem with it, right? It's like the most basic thing you could do with him. And I thought it just kind of fell short. A lot of the jokes were just kind of, I get what you're going with, right? Instead of what if, it was what if, right? Dragging it out. I don't know. One thing that was funny in here, if you're familiar with the Watcher from What If, the big head guy with the big eyes and everything, we got like his second-rate cousin in here called the Peeper. That was, honestly, that kind of made me laugh and kind of made things a little bit better. But for the most part, I was just like, that's not really, seemed like you were celebrating more other stories than you were like saying, hey, Howard the Duck's a property of ours you may be interested in. Check it out. That would have been something. Alright, next, Marvel Zombies. And here we get 3 zombie stories. First off, that Pulo cover. Oh my lord, look at that. That dude is an amazing artist. Usually he does like the, rather busty women. Right? And this one he's got, well, I guess you could say a busty dude. Alright. So, what do we get in here? This one seems to be kind of focused on how team relationships happen during the zombie apocalypse, right? So we get Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four and how he locked himself away to try to find a cure, and it was too late. So sad. All of his friends are dead, or zombies now, and then eventually he contracts and becomes one himself. Which really sad story. Like that was probably the saddest thing in here. The next one is Beta Ray Bill, which on a positive note, instead of everybody turning into zombies, which they already have, he's been able to save a few people and has a team of the living, and they're traveling through space, beating up the zombies. Weird. It's a thing, I guess. Next, we get old X-Force team kind of back together to combat Zombie Cable, and that was actually kind of rough. Non-stop action. You get your boy Cannonball in it. A few other characters in it. I don't want to spoil it, but too much. But the battle was epic. It was everything you would expect it to be when you go against something like Cable out there. So yeah, not bad. Cool cover, cool story. I was happy about this one. This one made me happy. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Predator versus Wolverine. I love this story. I've been reading these so far. We're up to issue 3. I know a lot, right? But you feel like you're getting a lot of story here because you get the flashback scenes where he goes back to the past and Predator fights, Wolverine. In this one, he actually caught up with him during the Weapon X project and actually opened him up and found out that he had, metal skull, metal bones, everything's metal. So he's going to take him to the ship and keep him, but doesn't realize that he has a healing power. And then we get this one really cool scene because he does escape, right? And causing escapes with the Predator's helmet, I should say, right? And then we find out where the X helmet came from. I thought that was smart, right? Because they never really explain, like, what does this technology really do or work, right? Other than control them. But to sit there and make the connection there, I thought that was smart. It's kind of an in between the panels, this happened this one time in there. And then, of course, we brought it up to speed. Wolverine actually sent a signal from the helmet to bring the Predator back to let him know that he's still alive and, hey, bub, let's get this done type of attitude. Like, I'm tired of this. And then we get another flashback of one of our favorite storylines out there when Wolverine was in Japan, learning to be a samurai or a ninja or something, and the little battle there that happened. So, yeah, all in all, it's very enjoyable, right? This is one of those books that, because it doesn't come out consistently, like every week consistently, right, you can kind of forget about it. And I don't want people to do that because this is too good. So definitely, if you haven't yet picked it up, yeah, you know what? Let's just do it. And if I have animations, then we'll put them in there. If not, this is going to look stupid. Pick of the week. Hope the updates happen. Otherwise, that just looks stupid. All right, next. Berserker #1. Another number 1. So it's the same vein. Like, we know how this works now. He gets captured by an evil empire. The evil empire enslaves him. He chooses not to work for him. They try to kill him. In this one, instead of finally just kind of like, yeah, sure, I'll kill for you, he resists for a while. And then, like, the king's wife is a little temptress whore. And seduces her and like plays the long game with him, right? It wasn't like buy me one margarita. Like, she's not that kind of chick, right? She waited like a week or a month or something, and then finally gets his man juice or whatever. It's hard to explain. And then like fakes her death and everything, or fakes the fact that she got kidnapped. Berserker goes berserk and goes and kills all the enemies of the people. And then realize it's all just a big scam. And it doesn't work out in her favor in the end. You know how I joke about not being able to see past your own nose? Like, I don't like writers that can't see past their own nose and think they can lecture me. She cuts her nose off in this, so it's, not a problem, I guess. I don't know. All right, a couple of other things that I just picked up this week, just to kind of put into the old PC. I think I pick up these kind of things a lot. But it is what it is. All right, so we get The Mighty Thor #138. I just picked that up. I love that cover. That is a great cover. There's a first appearance in here, too. Guardians of the Galaxy #1. We know this is Taserface. I know I have at least 3 of these now. And, of course, the Incredible Hulk issue number 200. right? Something they really did not think about at that time. So that's really cool. Anything going on in the community? Real quick, if you didn't see over at Gary B, the casual comic guy, I was on what is known as the 1011, where I bring basically 12 comic books, and we have a little fun talking about them. I'm going to link that down below in case you want to go check it out. It was kind of a last minute fit in because somebody had to bail out, so I was more than happy to jump in and show everybody some comic books. So you can see some of my kind of PC collection stuff that I kind of hide away. Some of my older stuff, mostly Silver Age. But it was a good show, and I want to share it with you guys. So I'll link that down below. Make sure you give them a like, thumbs up if you go by. Let them know Joey sent you. Yeah, Pocan Joey, whatever you want to call me. Your call. There's probably not a lot of editing in this either, so if it looks awkward, I do apologize. But again, it's a habit for me to be on time. All right, guys, I'll catch you all next week. Well, hopefully we have a better video for you. Bye.